Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters. Welcome to my project palettes update video for December. So I'm going to take you through the palettes that I used in December. You're going to see some familiar palettes from last month. You're going to see some new ones from this month. You're going to see some decluttering, but what you're not going to see is any photos of looks because I didn't take any. Look, I picked my battles recently, and taking photos of my eye looks was just not one of them. I want to start with some Smashbox cover shot palettes. Let's start with this one. This is the Hoodwitch palette. Now, isn't that packaging just beautiful? Here it looks amazing. Here it looks pretty sad, to be honest. I was only doing one look with this palette, the same look over and over, and that featured this shade here, this one here, and this one here. So I've got basically a grey, a dark berry, and then like an old gold shade. I really like the old gold. It does have a hint of green in there, but I just think it's pretty, and it went well with the look. You can't really see that grey shade, can you? It does come off fairly well on the eye. It's a nice transition shade for me, basically, but yeah, you can see it's light. I don't understand how Smashbox just seem to, I don't know, miss the mark so badly with these palettes. This is an 8-pan palette, and it has 3 mattes in it. Those two that I just swatched, and then this cream shade here, which, you know, it's a big, gigantic, light cream shade. It would be considered highlighty. It's, you know, brightening. And then it's just, I see no cohesiveness with this palette, I guess. That's probably my issue with it. The shade up the top here is fairly pretty. This is one of those, like, sort of pale, super pale gold shades with a pink shift. So if you catch it on different angles, I mean, yeah, I can move my wrist all sorts of, yeah, that's helpful. You can really see that shift, can't you? It's there. It is. It's subtle, but it's there. Then there is this pink shade. You've got this sort of darkish shade, and then you've got a blue. And I just, you know, I just don't really, it's ugly. It's an ugly palette. I don't like it. I just don't like it. I created this look a few times. I think I mentioned that. But I have zero interest in ever picking it up again. It's boring. I don't want to keep an 8-pan palette for 3 shades that create a nice look, but nothing that's outstanding. Let's do this one. This is a Petal Metal palette. So this is kind of, you know, warm nudes, rosy shades. Now, this one only has 2 mattes. So we've got this shade here and this shade down here. I do like these matte shades. So, you know, there's that. I especially like this color. It's kind of like a nice caramel shade, and then you've just got a dark brown. The shimmers are also nice, but look, I just feel like they are very, very similar to each other. This one here, which is this one here, looks like the same as what's in the Hoodwitch palette. And then you've got these like rosy toned shimmer shades. And I also think these are pretty. Like, I do genuinely really love these 4 shades, but texturally it's boring. When you put these on the eye, they don't have any punch. They don't have any, like, they don't really draw you in. While they look pigmented, the finish of them is a bit lackluster. I love a bit of sparkle over the eyelid. I love a matte in the crease in the outer corner and sparkle over the eyelid, or I like color shift over the eyelid, or like a metallic finish, whereas these, they swatch metallic, but when you blend them out, i.e. apply them with, you know, a flat eyeshadow brush, they're pretty boring. I just don't see myself really being interested in using that beyond the 2 looks that I created with it during the last 4 weeks. It's just, I'm sure if I'm really, really keen on creating a look that was like that, I probably got some other shitty ass palettes in my collection still, so, you know, it's fine, it's fine. The last one that I have from Smashbox is a Minimalist eye palette. This one I would say is even worse. So there's more mattes in this, which is great. There's actually 5 mattes. So this one here, these 2, this one and this one, and then you've got 3 shimmery shades. I will swatch these for you just so you can get an idea of the looks that I was creating with it. It just, I do like how they've done like a warm side and a cool side, but also does this not just make you think of the shades that were in that the Petal Metal palette just now? I mean, a little bit different, but very similar. This cream shade, I mean, and then the, I don't even know, what am I, are they satins? They're hardly satins. I mean, they're like, to me they feel like demi mattes almost, like, oh my god, oh, I don't even want to talk about it, to be honest. That's how sad the palette is. But yeah, I'm happy to get rid of them. I threw them into the project knowing that I was going to be doing my palette declutter, and kind of just wanting to have one last hurrah with them, because I've held on to them for so long, and I had it in my head that I was probably going to declutter them. Playing with them has just solidified that I have 0 interest in those palettes, and I actually look forward to them no longer being in my presence. Let's talk about something fun. Did I use this last month? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did a look with it. The Huda Neon Orange palette. This is fun. I like playing with this because of the color of my hair, and I just kind of love pairing like the different orangey red shades together, and also I do quite like the textural finish of these eyeshadows. They are a little bit shimmery. They have like a micro shimmer in them, so if you sort of dust them on loosely, oh no, my neighbors, not again. Jesus, please take the wheel. I need to work. Okay, I'm gonna finish talking about this palette, and then when they stop, I'll come back again. This is the 3rd time I've tried to film this video. Yeah, I'm internally screaming. So this particular orange shade has this micro sparkle in it, so if you actually sort of dust it over the eye really gently, and in this case I actually do think using your finger or one of those silicone eye shadow applicators is really good for this job. If you just like dust it over and work it into the skin, you get almost a duochrome orange to yellow shift with this micro sparkle in it, and the micro sparkle is actually like blue and green. It's beautiful, it's really nice. Or you can apply it more heavy like with the swatch, and you get that like proper sort of metallic light reflective finish. So I actually really like this palette. I did play with the pink shade as well. Again, very pretty, very vibrant. But when it came to the mattes, I was mostly playing with these shades here, which all sort of fit into that. Why does this one look yellow on camera? That's so strange. It's like, it's a It's like a pale orange. Interesting. Anyway, they were the mattes that I was playing with. I will say, I don't think this formula is the best, but I feel like it brings something to the table that I enjoy and that I don't really have a lot of in my collection. I'm sure I could find a few shades that, you know, I could mimic what is going on here, but you have to, like, you know, dig around in the, or I would have to dig around in my collection to find them. So I like this palette. Am I going to reach for it on a regular basis? No, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I went grocery shopping, I came back, and now it's quiet, thank God. Okay, so let's continue. Let's talk about this. This is the Sleek I Divine Sunset palette. Now I'm pretty sure in my palette declutter, I decluttered the only other Sleek palette that I have. And when I pulled this one out of the drawer to play with it, I noticed when I opened it, it had a bit of a, it smells a bit like crayon, kind of like raw ingredients. And I thought, you know what? This has to go, but there are just a few shades in here that I want to play with one more time. So I pulled it out and I did. Now, mostly I was attracted to like these sort of shades here. So the berries and the coppers were definitely like right up there with the colors that I just really wanted to try out. And the orange is another one. This gold also, hang on, I'll swatch them first and then I'll show you which ones they were. The gold, that was one of my favorite shades out of the palette, and I used it fairly frequently in the past. The orange is really beautiful as well, but that gold is stunning. I like the, oh, you know what? I'm seeing a shade down here. It looks like it has a bit of a, is that a bit shifty? Oh, maybe a tiny bit. I never used it, but now it's piquing my interest. It's kind of a, it's a very reflective pinky shade. But yeah, look, I had one last hurrah with this palette. I quite enjoyed it. It smells, so I think it's time to go. Again, if I hadn't had that in, you know, inside in my like current makeup drawer, it would have been decluttered in the palette video anyway. So it is what it is. At least I got to use it one last time, and now it is out of the collection. Gone for good. We need to talk about these again. The Colourpop quads. I'm actually wearing one today, but I was wearing Citrus Fizz a lot. I really love this palette. I just, man, I don't know why these quads are so much better than other Colourpop eyeshadow formulas. I don't get it. Like, this is a beautiful formula. I love this quad as well. The color story is gorgeous and also very easy to use to create a full look. So crease, outer corner, lower lash line if you want. You could put this over the lid. You can put this on the inner corner. It's just, it does like a whole look, and I really, really like that. I picked this up on any day where I was just like, I still want to put makeup on, but I want easy and pretty, and this is such a winner for me. Sorbet, I actually only just put on today, so this is only just scraping into the video, but I've only used these two shades, so that's what's in my crease and my outer corner. So in my crease we have this shade, outer corner is this shade. I will swatch these for you. I'll swatch the whole palette, then I'll let you know what I'm, oh no, that's right, I did actually put this shade on my inner corner as well, but I'm wearing something else on my eyelid. So this is a beautiful mauvey palette. I just think it's beautiful. Swatching over arm hair, I mean, it doesn't work so well, but I think it's beautiful. I really enjoy these quads. I do not understand why the formula is different to their other eyeshadows. Maybe it's all in my head. I would have a tendency to believe that. But when I talked about these quads, I think it was just last month, I had quite a few people leaving comments saying that they agreed that the Colourpop quads were just a better formula than what they're used to from Colourpop. I will say they're soft, and like I've dropped eyeshadow everywhere. It's all over my jeans, so you know, that's super fun. But also I think that's actually one of the things that makes them so blendable, and they're very pigmented. Also, I have to say, and I say this a lot, so sorry if you feel like I sound like a broken record, purples are notoriously hard to formulate. These are a form of purple, and especially the darker shade went on so smooth, no patchiness, blended beautifully. Like, if you took away all of my makeup and only left me with a Colourpop quad, I'd be annoyed. But I also, I mean, it is what it is. At least you left me with something good. Okay, what am I wearing on my eyelids? This is from MAC. This is, I have eyeshadow everywhere. This is from the holiday collection. It's the Shade Shifter Duochrome eyeshadow in Right Before Your Eyes. So as you guys will know, I'm about to talk about this again as well, sorry. Kat purchased me this for Christmas. I purchased her the same thing. We also purchased each other one of these eyeshadows. This one, not, when I swatched them, I think there was there 4 in the collection and they had 3 in store and I swatched 3, or maybe there was 5 and I swatched 4, whatever. This was the shade that I felt was prettiest. So you can see it's like lavender to almost an icy greenish shift. It's like a silvery turquoise, because it's kind of bluey and green, but it's a very pale color, and it's pretty. It's super, super pretty. And I mean, she's sparkly, she's gorgeous, and I feel like it adds a pop of color. It pretty much does everything that I want an eyeshadow to do. It adds a pop of color, it's got a shift, so it's nuanced and it's, you know, interesting when you see it at different angles. It's sparkly, it's very light reflective, very metallic. I love it. It's beautiful. So that has been a winner, and I've been pairing that with, you know, shades also out of the Smashbox palettes to, you know, give it a bit of diversity. Something else that I wore this month, but I only wore once. Which one was it? This one. This is from MAC. It is P for Pink. Now, I dragged these into my bedroom sort of at the last minute when I was getting ready to go out for our friend's Christmas party. Actually, I do have a photo of that. Sorry, editing Hailey, put us in. We are a sexy bunch on a boat. So this is, it's a little bit like, I'm gonna say it, guys. It's a little bit like Stylishly Mary. Gold to pink shift, very sparkly, very metallic. These are from holiday, not last year, maybe the year before. Was it holiday 2019? Possibly. Don't do that. I'm so close to being done. I hate them. I hate them. Guys, I'm sorry you're going to hate me, but I'm so just going to try and drown that out and continue. Yeah, so I think these were from Christmas 2019. I think I bought the whole collection and I don't regret it. It was the last time, actually it might have, yeah, it was the first time that I bought a whole MAC eyeshadow collection from their holiday collection, I think. Anyway, no regrets. I love it. It's beautiful. I actually bought in two, but I only used one. I knew I wanted like a pinky shade. This one is Major Win, and this is also like, they're very, very similar. I would say this one is a little bit more, it's funny because it looks a bit more silvery and mauvey there, but on the down angle it has more of like a, I don't know how to show you, it's a bit more coppery, a bit more yellowy orange rather than like the sort of traditional gold shade of P for Pink. So yeah, but this was the one that won in the end and I enjoyed it. And of course the Nars palette. I'm still really enjoying this. It is the Bijoux palette for holiday 2021, so this year. I love it because again it has these beautiful sparkly shades which you know, are quite reminiscent of what I've just swatched on my hand from the Stylishly Merry, or the MAC shades. I would say that these ones from Nars aren't quite as metallic, they're more glittery. But you know, no less beautiful. This month when I played with this palette, I hate to say it, but this palette is flawed. So I was pretty much doing what I was doing when I first got the palette. I was using, you know, these shades here as, you know, my crease shades, outer corner shades. This really is the only matte shade that I can use in my crease. Anything else is too dark for me. If I use something too dark in this area of my eye, what it does is it, you know, it acts as a shadow and it sort of makes that part of my eye recede, which makes my eyes look smaller than they are. And I do naturally have small eyes. So color placement on my eyes is very important for helping to keep them looking open, essentially. I can't take color too far up because it sort of drowns out my actual eyeball. And I can't use colors that are too dark in here. So, well, I can, but I prefer not to. These are my preferences. So these sort of shades get saved for the outer corner, which is fine. The shimmery shades I really enjoy. I'm very happy with them. I did use this shade and it was actually, I wore it in a video. I can't remember which one. I will put the thumbnail up. I'll find it and I'll put the thumbnail up. And what I didn't like about it was it looked dirty. It's not a pretty green in my opinion, but also keeping in mind that I'm, you know, I'm not a fan of green anyway, so of course I'm going to be a bit more inclined to not like it. But it's kind of like a khaki muddy green, and I feel like when it is blended with these sort of, you know, if I blend it with this shade, it all just starts to look very grey and muddy. And if you blend it with these tones that have a bit more red or the chocolate in them, look, red and green, if you've heard the saying red and green should never be seen, there's a reason for it. Red and green do neutralize each other as well if they're used in a correct way, but they can also be contrasting. So one will make the other pop and vice versa. But I don't feel like that really happens with this palette. So yeah, I'm not a fan. There are still some shades that I have not used in the palette. This one down here, this one here, and this one. All three that just don't really catch my eye, although, that one there. Oh, and I actually haven't used this chocolatey one. I'm just thinking this one looks really nice swatched on my finger. Let's do it. So, okay, so that's like a bronzy copper shade. This one is the dark, this shade down here. It's not really a matte. It's kind of like a demi matte. That's the green shimmery shade, and this one down here is the like the metallic mid-tone brown. It's not metallic, it's kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't call it a satin, but I wouldn't call it a metallic. It's kind of a little bit a step up from a satin. I would have loved to see this swapped out for something a bit more interesting up here, like another one of these types of formulas, something a bit more rich and punchy, because we do have these sort of more brownie-ish but more punchy. I mean, they're not brown, so that's unfair to say, but I feel like they kind of fall within the same category. Like, if you like one, you're probably going to like the others, but I like these two, and I would be willing to gamble that something better could be put in the palette, if you get my drift. But that's just me being, like, you know, picky. It doesn't mean I don't like the palette, and it doesn't mean that I regret the purchase. I don't at all. I think it's a beautiful palette, and I'm really glad that Kat and I basically did a gift swap. She bought it for me and I bought it for her, and I think we're both fairly happy with it. Okay guys, so I am going to wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it. I am sorry about the lack of photos. I will try to get back on that in January, but I think for December I'm just not going to really like make it be something that I worry too much about, because I got other stuff going on. It's Christmas, and it's, you know, it's a busy time. It's a busy time for everyone, so I'm sure you understand. But I will be back in January with another one of these videos, and since I've done my palette declutter, I'm actually really keen to get into some of my larger palettes, which were over here, which I haven't used for ages. So I'm excited to get into them, which means we might only be talking about like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 palettes in the next video, but that's okay, because if a palette is interesting enough to hold my attention for that long, then that's a good thing, isn't it? Alright guys, so I'm gonna leave that there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave comments down below if you feel like it, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.